Please, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot or do not appoint an attorney will be appointed for you. You are now under arrest.
Environment from which an offender comes from influence whether or not he or she will commit a crime again. The answer is yes. The reason why is because we as humans are influenced by our surroundings. People will repeat the behavior because it seems socially acceptable. The answer is yes, because of our social norms. Many offenders commit crimes because they do not believe that they are going to be caught. So many people get away with this offense, which makes them feel invincible and continue to keep making their actions. Does the severity of the punishment influence whether or not he or she will commit the action again? The answer is yes, because people will not commit an offense if the punishment is too severe.
Parsimony. Is the theory simple? The answer to that is yes. Scope. What does the theory try to explain? The theory tries to explain the deterrent effects of sanctions on success or failure of probationers and how informal social control processes review individual level predictors. Logical consistency. Does the theory make sense? The answer to that is also yes. There is logical consistency in the fact that predictors such as period of probation, past criminal history, swiftness of punishment, severity of punishment, completion of DWI education programs, and more would play a major role in whether or not the probationers would drive drunk again.
Social acceptance. Humans are more likely to take part in illegal activities or drive drunk if it is seen as socially acceptable. Maximization of pleasure. We as humans want to maximize our pleasure, so we would drive under intoxication if we knew there was little chance of being caught. Everybody's doing it. Knowing a lot of other people do it as well makes it more likely we will continue to do it. Severity of punishment. Also, the severity of punishment would not necessarily dissuade a person, but more the certainty of being punished would stop humans from committing crimes. The deterrence theory assumes a consensual stance. The deterrence theory states that when people commit crimes, they are rational. People irrationally choose to drink or do illegal drugs. Even though the person may be under the influence, they are still rationally choosing to get behind the wheel, even though they are impaired.
The deterrence theory addresses both micro and macro level processes. This is because the deterrence theory can be broken down to focus on different groups or just a single person, aka general or specific deterrence.
The two hypotheses that we found in the article were 1. If we increase the severity of the punishment on drinking and driving through general deterrence, then it will deter people from drinking and driving. And 2, if we increase the certainty of punishment, then the likelihood of people repeatedly committing the offense will decrease.
They did, in fact, find support for their hypothesis. They did find a correlation between severity of punishment and the amount of time that the probationary period was actually a success versus when it was failed. In the broader topic of deterrence, severity is only partially supported by this experiment, given that the severity depends on the actual punishment. In the case of the study, they were discussing the length of the probationary period and felony versus misdemeanor charges, not specifically time in prison. The idea they give is larger probationary periods and felony charges as a greater deterrence than simple jail time.
The 3 concepts in the article were general deterrence, specific deterrence, and community context and recidivism. We see a direct correlation between both general deterrence and specific deterrence, as well as community context and recidivism. General deterrence really focuses on preventing people from offending, as opposed to specific deterrence focuses more on current offenders and preventing them from repeating their actions. Community context and recidivism focus on the likelihood of an offender to commit another offense. Through the criminal justice system, in deterrence, we really focus on preventing this from happening.